Hello everyone. In this video, I will briefly describe about the HTML basic template. You know that it's highly important to design a web page. Without HTML, you cannot design a web page. So that's why, as according to our current assignment, I will share some basic uh, knowledge about the HTML and basic introduction about the HTML. Firstly, if you notice in the board, I already wrote down the basic template of HTML. For example, HTML opening and HTML closing. All the text will be here, and here the head section. There is a similarity as a human body. If you compare with the human body, I think it will help you to connect as a human body and the HTML project, because it's very important to know about the basic HTML structure and how do its work. Firstly, if I give you an example, as you compare as a human body, this is a human body, for example, uh, and body section. So uh, this is the head section, right? And all of the important of our body and all of the important task of our body which is controlled by the human body. You can find the similarity as you notice the HTML structure. For example, this is the head section, right? All of the important file or important project or important link, everything which is controlled from this section, which is head. You can notice that there is a title in the head section, and title, this titles HTML project, and basically it is the your website title. Whatever you want, you can write your title in this section. That's why it's called the title section. And most importantly, as a human brain, our the HTML template is the basic structure, or you can say as the skeleton of a web page. But we have to color and different type of animation. That's why we have to add lots of file. For example, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript. All our file are added by this section. In between this section, head section. For example, CSS, Java. Most of the people JavaScript file added in the last of the body section because it's a huge file. That's why it takes so much time to load this file. That's why most of the coder prefer to load this JavaScript file in the between. But Google Front, Google Front, and other Bootstrap, all the file is added between in this section. And there is another similarity we can find. This is the body section, right? So when we perform all of the hard working or all of the physical tasks we have to do in the by body section uh, as a human being. So you can connect as HTML template most of the important design, most of the task and everything we have to do in the body section. For example, you can add image here, you can add a text here, heading, or anything of your design part. You have to do this in this body section. It is highly important to inform you that all of the tag HTML tags is the double tag. That means every tag has an opening tag and the closing tag. Opening the angle bracket, and closing the extra, you have to add the slash, backslash, for the closing part. And mm lastly, I want to mention one thing is that most of the people think that HTML is a programming language. It's a wrong concept. I also think that HTML is a programming language. Basically, this is not the programming language. This is called hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. That means our file, total HTML file, HTML file is a text file type, and it's a markup language. For example, you are going to mark which will be your heading section, which will be your banner section, which will be your footer section, which will be menu section. That's why it's called also markup, and definitely it's a language. That's why it's called HTML. Full form is hypertext markup language. So that's all about the HTML template, basic template. I think it will help you to reconnect with you. I know all of you are expert, but I would like to share all of a little bit experience about my HTML project. And lastly, one most important thing that with only by using HTML you cannot design or perform a full HTML full website. we must have to add the CSS part. CSS means cascading style sheet. Definitely you know all about this. And there are three types of CSS. For example, inline CSS, secondly internal CSS, and lastly external CSS. So in these two CSS, inline and internal CSS, we use basically in HTML file. HTML file. Inline CSS basically um, in tag. For example, this is h1 tag, and you are the text align center. This is called inline CSS. And internal CSS, this is also used in HTML file in the head section, but most of the most of the coder over the wall, the professional web designer and developer, they prefer to write this CSS, external CSS. We have to add we have to create another CSS file. Then we have to link it in head section. Basically this is all about HTML and CSS. A very simple concept about HTML CSS. I hope you all are enjoy, and definitely if I created any mistake, please pardon me. Thank you.